It's two in the space of a minute for Cheltenham Town. That is the character of potential champions.
Hello and welcome back to Up The Duff. It has been a while since we've sat at a laptop and spoken at each other. It's a bit of a different setup this time. We are in a studio. We have our two producers, Rowan Lee and Lawrence Stanley. Loz has just given us a nice fist bump, which you can't see. And I'm joined with my two guests. We have Bristol City season ticket holder and Thatcher's enthusiast, Matt Daley.
Hello, how are you?
And we have all the way from the Welsh Valleys, one of my favourite guests, because he knows nothing about Cheltenham, Liam Hale. How are you doing, Liam?
Hi Ben, I'm just here for the fun, you know. Just here for the fun.
Completely fair.
Here for a wild ride of stories.
So what we're going to do, we have a Bristol fan and a United fan. A Bristol City fan, I'll be specific. We're going to go through all of the Bristol City loanees since 2010 and a few from before that, and we're going to get Matt's opinion, and we're going to see if Liam's heard of them, because if he hasn't, they probably haven't really gone on to do anything. So, starting, do you want to go 2010 and up or 2022 and down?
I think we should go 2010 and up because, I mean, I'm 22. Like, the players before 2012, like, I'm not really sure how many 11-year-olds are watching their third-tier club
that's fair.
having, you know, their eyes on a non-league loanee that much. So I might not know too much about some of these.
2009-10, I think we were only one division below you.
Ooh.
We spent about 3 years before that in the same league.
Ooh.
We were in the Championship in 2009.
Do your research.
Yeah, I could just be making that up, but I don't think I am. Right, we'll start. Scott Brown, not that one, not the other one, a different one. He was a midfielder, I do believe. He played for Accrington Stanley against Cheltenham Town in I think around 2017, 2018, and got sent off for two-footing Billy Waters by the away dugout. Matt, what do you think of Scott Brown? I think he played one game.
For Cheltenham?
For Cheltenham, he played one game for us.
Well, he spent, what was it, 3 years at Bristol City, I think, mid-2000s. That was when I first started getting into football in Bristol City. So, personally, I don't remember too much of him at the club. But the name Scott Brown's always been something that, you know, is a bit funny because of the Scottish bloke who's now, is it Hibs manager?
Fleetwood
manager,
He's made it to League One.
Yeah, so again, I'm not too sure. I'm just looking at his career now. He's been around the place. Besides Accrington Stanley, he's never really had a place to call home since 2007 at Bristol City.
Fair. Where is Scott Brown at the moment?
I think he might have just retired. Warrington Town was his last club. He's 37, so.
Big club.
I was going to say, there was the possibility of 3 Scott Browns in the same league had he not retired. So if he was still at Accrington, there'd be him, there'd be Scott Brown, the manager of Fleetwood, and then there would be Scott Brown at Exeter City. So that would have been interesting. But we're going to go with Scott Brown towards the bottom of this loanee list. And the next one, we had him 2 seasons on loan. He played less than 20 games, but he did get 3 goals. It was Frankie Artus.
Again, one of the players that I'm not 100% too sure on. I'll be honest, he never played for us. He was a youngster for us for over a decade, but never made first team appearance. Had 2 loans. On my research, he's had 2 loans. He spent quite a lot. Well, spent 8 years at Bath. Saw quite a lot of times play for Bath. He's half decent player, to be honest to him. But when you're playing in the 5th and 6th tier,
it's never easy.
No, it's nothing that you shout out and think.
Oh, what a player. Speaking of Bath City, we have they've announced, Cheltenham haven't, that we will be going there in pre-season for a friendly. It's nice to know we have a pre-season friendly lined up, because our pre-season and off-season is probably going to be the shortest it has ever been. Just one other player to point out in this 2009-10 era, Will Puddy, technically the only goalkeeper to come through at Cheltenham Town's academy while still not being considered academy product, and we got him from Bristol City.
Yeah, I think more people will understand him from playing for Bristol Rovers quite a long time. Obviously, the 2014-15 non-league, was it National League playoff final, he started for Bristol Rovers, got subbed off in the 120th minute for the penalty shootout that the Gas did eventually win against Grimsby. he was a backup to a 40-year-old Steve Mildenhall. So to be honest, not much came for his career. I think he's in the 8th tier now, playing. So yeah, he's not really known as Bristol City to most people, but he came through as a youngster here.
And then us for a tiny little bit. Next season, we have no one from you, which is odd. But it was the first season of Marlon Pack playing for us. And as a Bristol City fan, I know you quite like Marlon Pack.
Quite frankly, my second favourite player to play for Bristol City. Like, yeah, he's gone to Cardiff. There's rumours we might bring him back. But
rumours we might bring him back. There's rumours Portsmouth will.
There's rumours we might bring him back.
I mean, honestly, I put it in the group chat yesterday. He pocketed Paul Pogba. He's pocketed David Silva in the same cup run. The second he left the club, it was clear his role in the club was missing. There's no one we've had since who's been able to marshal the defence as well as he has. Lee Johnson called him the quarterback for our club because, I mean, he would be the one setting up the attacks. And I think since moving to Cardiff, he's not had the best luck, realistically, playing for a pretty poor team.
Yeah.
So,
but we do keep getting money for him. And had Cardiff City gone up, we would have got more. Now, a man called Christian on Twitter, when we asked for the best Bristol City loanees, said none, because all Bristol City players are... That's a swear word we can't say. I asked even Marlon Pack. He said very overrated. What do you think to that?
Speechless. I think it took most Bristol City fans until he left the club to realise how good he was.
Yeah.
Like, I remember in 2017, I was told on Twitter because I said that Gary O'Neill was not as good as Marlon Pack. And Gary O'Neill, who played 3 matches that season because he had knees and ankles that were as good as glass.
Fair enough.
Say he's overrated must mean that you haven't watched Bristol City play when he was at the club for 7 years.
Yeah. But Christian did then give an actual suggestion. He said Scott Murray, who played for us in 2008. He had 2 spells at Bristol City, got a couple goals, and I believe he's a kit man or a coach now.
Yeah, a couple of goals. Only, what was it, 100 odd?
2 for us.
Yeah.
Bit more for you.
He's a
solid,
legendary kit man at the club. He's just a legendary figure at the club. I think every player that scored against Cardiff in the past 5 years has done his Cup of the Year celebration to their fans. I think if he ends up leaving the club in any capacity, I think it'll be a massive miss. He's just known as he's a club legend. There's no doubt.
He is.
Even Liam knows it.
It'll be a sad day.
That's fair. Next up, we have 2 players who I believe played a grand total of 2 minutes, of Marlon Jackson and Bobby De Cordova-Reid.
Oh, what a player.
Which one?
Bobby Reid.
Maya Jama's best friend, as he's known as.
Obviously went on to play for Cardiff City.
How
did that feel?
Then, well, look, we had the great season 2017-18. He got 20 goals that season.
Yeah.
We got a bit of money off of him. I think it was about £9 million. They're in the Premier League. You can't really give them much grief. The kid wants to go on and play. He's great service for the club. I think he was actually quite underrated the seasons before. He had his big breakout season because he was actually, especially our first season back in the Championship in 2015. He just come back from playing, I think, Plymouth for about 2 years on loan repetitively, and he slotted in and he worked his nuts off every match, and then started 2018-17 season. Lee Johnson thinks, let's just play him up front in the friendlies, see how it does. And he scored every match in pre-season.
Fair play.
Grabs 2 on the opening day against Barnsley and didn't look back from there.
So where was he playing before?
So he was known as a centre midfielder.
Centre mid.
I say attacking midfielder. He's very good at progressing the ball. I say he had a few goals in him. I think he got 5 in 2 seasons. Yeah. But as a youngster getting into in midfield and Championship, it's not bad, especially for a team that didn't really score many goals besides our main striker Jonathan Codger, then Tammy Abraham. No one else really got goals. So
that's a weird thing. You know, if I had £1 for every time we had a player who wasn't a striker at the time, played him in a different position, and then would go on to play in the Premier League as a striker, I'd have £2. But it's weird it happened twice. Because we did it with Mikel Antonio as well, who we played at right back.
But he was known as a right back when he was at Forest as well.
He did also sign as a right back for West Ham.
Yeah.
But apparently really good striker.
Well, Bobby Reid, I mean, he's played, he came through as a centre mid for us, then left as a striker, played right wing back, left wing back. He would have been to Bath. Everyone's gone to Bath, basically. Plymouth and
Fulham. I forget he's at Fulham.
He's at Fulham now.
Played for Jamaica alongside Antonio.
Oh, it's all come full circle.
Had he also had a loan spell
He
at
did.
Oldham?
He played 7 games for Oldham in 2013.
When Lee Johnson was in charge of Oldham Athletic.
And Oldham, obviously, the first ever Premier League club to be relegated from the Football League. Sorry to bring that up, although I doubt an Oldham fan is listening to Up The Duff. Moving on. We have one that me, nor Matt, nor Liam, nor Loz, nor Rowan remembered. Toby Ajala.
What a player.
I had to do my research on this. I remember the last name Ajala. He played 1 minute for us. The game we got relegated to League One in 2013. I mean, 1 minute as a sub for Neil Kilkenny. Not really the most starlit performances from Bristol City.
I can't find any record of him playing for us, but what I have found is his unbelievable record of how many teams he's played for. If you took how many podcast episodes we have, he's got more than that. If you add in how many fanzines and books we have, he's still got more than that. Listeners at home, we're going to start and we're going to do the full...
He probably has more clubs than Oldham have fans.
Oh. We're going to go through every team of Toby Ajala, starting with Elite Pro Sports, Home Farm, Ilford, Interwood, Hull City, Interwood again, Hayes and Yedding, Burnham, Bristol City, AFC Wimbledon, Cheltenham Town, Welling, Torquay, Dover, Torquay again, Gateshead, Welling, Dartford, Thamesmead, Harlow, Kingstonian, Ashford, Glebe, Romford and Sittingbourne. We're just going to go back.
We didn't touch Marlon Michael Jackson.
We're going to go back because we did skip Marlon Jackson a little bit. Matt, what do you think of Marlon?
Marlon Michael Jackson, I remember growing up, just his name was hilarious. I played 5 games. I don't really remember him much playing for Bristol City. But just like Toby Ajaya, he's had loads of clubs. He's been out on loan 8 times in his career. He's played for Gloucester, Chippenham, Weston-super-Mare, Hereford, Newport. He's been around local. Yeah. So he's been a local boy really.
Played for both Hereford United and Hereford FC. Yeah. Interesting.
Just wanted to touch on. He also played for England C. 1 goal, 1 assist.
He did got
one game, 1 goal.
England C cap. I wonder who he got that for.
2013. So he would have been playing for Lincoln or Bury or Hereford.
Fair enough. Right. Next up, Wilson. James Wilson. Another one I didn't really remember. Well, Liam, why don't you go in and tell us about James Wilson?
Okay, Matt just shook his head and said it's not the one I'm thinking of.
Yes, it's not the one you're thinking of, Liam.
Played for Crewe?
No.
Matt?
Oh, okay.
So James Wilson, young centre-half. Well, I say young centre-half. He was young when he played for us. He left 2014 for us. He made... I don't want to say too many appearances, but he was a name that was in the defence, I think, during our relegation season, quite most likely.
Yep.
I'm just trying to find his... 21 times in our Great Escape season. But realistically, the 3-4 years of Derek McGuinness and then Steve Coppell and that lot just is a blur for most Bristol City fans, sadly, because we just had players coming in and out that didn't want to be at the club.
Fair. And then moving on, we have a loanee, 2014-15, who I believe we signed permanently, Jordan Winter.
I think the one game I remember Jordan Winter playing for us was a sub appearance against Cheltenham Town in the Johnson's Patent Trophy 2014-15 when we won the cup double.
Yeah.
He came on as a sub, and our next player scored scored in the game. So next one's Wesley Burns.
Yeah. And what do you think of Burnsy?
I loved him. His pace was undeniable. I think he was given a hard luck. I mean, he was a bench player and then got loaned out when we won the cup and league double. I think he scored a 96-minute winner against Chesterfield that season at home, which was one of the reasons where we all thought we could actually blitz this league easily. Yeah. Then promotion to Championship, playing at right wing back. He's a right winger. / striker.
The Cheltenham way.
Scored a 97th minute winner against Middlesbrough, the first game after Steve Cottrell got sacked, because he was played up front as a lone striker in a 4-5-1.
Interesting.
Then he went to Fleetwood and became really important at Fleetwood. Now he's doing, I think, got Team of the Year in League One for Ipswich.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
Liam can weigh in. You're a bit of a Fleetwood fan. What do you think?
He was all right at Fleetwood. I enjoyed him. I enjoyed his company. I did, when Matt said his name, I did want to say Fleetwood, but I thought you guys, I was taking the mickey. So yeah,
That's not like you.
Yeah, I know. He was really good at Fleetwood. Sometimes he played left mid as well, which was really, really weird at the time. But yeah, he was a really good player.
We're going to move on to an interesting player. Now a Tyler, scored in the FA Cup this season. Diego de Girolamo, apologies, scored a hat-trick in his first start against Leicester City with a team involving Harvey Barnes, scored another in the next game, an indirect free kick, and then just disappeared.
Well, it was odd. He got released by Sheffield United. He's always wanted to play for Italy. I think he's played under 18s, 19s and 20s,
Yeah.
If my research was correct. Got released by Sheffield United. We picked him up 2016-17 season.
Yeah.
And I don't think he played in the league for us. I believe, on my spreadsheet here, I know he's made matchday squads for us, but I don't think he actually came off the bench in any games.
He the one thing I remember, he was quite lazy. Get the ball to him and he will score, but he will not move to the ball.
Yeah, we didn't see him at all. He made one he made one sub appearance when we beat Fulham in the League Cup. 2-1. Ivan Lukic saved a penalty that day.
Ivan Lukic. Speaking of, played once for Cheltenham, not technically on loan. We just borrowed him because we didn't have a goalkeeper. Do you remember? Were you at that game?
No, I wasn't at that game.
I think I was. Either we played in purple or you played in purple. I think Jonathan Kodjia scored by hitting the bit where the net is held up inside the goal, and it bounced out and wasn't given, even though we put it so far in the top bins, it probably would have got stuck. What happened to him?
Ivan Lukic, well, he was brought in as a youngster to play third choice, really, when he got released by Bayern Munich. So he was brought in as a youngster. Richard O'Donnell and Frank Fielding were still at the club. Then we went through 9 league matches lost in a row. O'Donnell was dropped after conceding from the halfway line to Steve Sidwell. Then Frank Fielding started having his injury problems. So it was really Lukic left, played in 2 matches.
Yeah.
He did okay. His kick-in was not the best. But to be fair,
I don't remember him being the best at many things.
I mean, to be fair, as a youngster, he came from Bayern Munich. You would have thought training with...
we got excited. It was like, oh my God, he's come from Bayern Munich. And then apparently his attitude is dreadful. Yeah,
I don't actually know where he's playing at the moment. But I remember he made a few decent saves against, I believe it was Brentford, that he played against from the start. But besides that, we were all excited that a youngster's come from Bayern Munich and then ends up being a dud, which is quite sad for a club that's not used to having big name teams players come for us.
It's like he's currently at Istra 1961. I don't know where they play.
Bulgaria.
I can't. It doesn't even say. I can't. Oh, it's Croatian.
Plays in Croatia.
But yeah, Lukic, Bayern Munich. 15 games apparently for their second team. Played all the way from Austria, 16s to 21s. Wasted potential, I suppose.
Yeah, just someone that I think, especially I remember them saying his personality was maybe not the best for needed in especially England. So that was a bit of a shame because he could have ended up being really good. Yeah.
Now, speaking of Croatia, we have the mighty, the gargantuan Tin Plavetic. I think he managed to clear the ball off the line from the penalty spot and then later just towered above the Yeovil defence to score. I think it was a 1-1 draw. He was huge. That's all I can say.
That's what I remember from him as well. Like, he didn't play for us. He signed on the same day or the same transfer window as Freddie Hines and Tyreek Backinson. So he signed in January 2017. Obviously, never really good enough to play the Championship level. But I know that you loved him when he was at Cheltenham.
How tall was he?
Probably a better goalkeeper than Ivan Lukic. He is almost 2 meters tall.
Yeah, he's
1.97.
What's that in foot?
6'4.5".
No, he's only 6'4", but you know
He looks bigger than he was.
yeah, I remember actually watching him play for Cheltenham. He looked much bigger than 6'4".
Yeah, because I think he sent Luton Town's manager into a meltdown because we had so many 6 feet players. Like, mate, it's not hard to sign someone over 6 foot.
That must have been.
Is that against the rules?
No, he's like, oh, we can't play football against Cheltenham because they got so many 6 footers.
I remember him.
So it was after, I think Joe Morrell scored an absolute screamer at Kenilworth Road.
Welsh hero.
We'll get on to Joe Morrell. We'll just talk slightly on Johnny Smith. I don't know what he's done, but whenever we play him now against Burton or Oldham, we boo him and he gets abused. He ran really weird. For the listeners at home, I'm currently reenacting it. Not very good for a audio medium. But he was really quick, but he just didn't really do anything.
Well, when we signed him from Wrexham, it was a lot of jokes that his teammates at Wrexham called him Johnny Bell, as in like Gareth Bell. And I was like, well, fair enough. Then he took loans out. I remember he had a decent loan at Burton Albion. I believe it was Burton or Swindon. He had a few decent loan spells, and we thought, oh, he's going to come back to us in January. We recalled him in January. Think might be in the first team plans, getting a few games under his belt, but no, he got sold. And then it's a shame because I remember him being out on loan and a lot of noise being made about him.
Yeah. But he never really did anything for us.
But there must be something wrong with him for you guys not to appreciate. Well, not appreciate, but you know, to give him booze. I know he joined Swindon Town after you, so
but
I don't know.
We're not even that much of a rival. We're about as rivalry as we are with you.
Yeah, that's a bit of an odd one. Then I've got to have a look into that.
It's just an odd one. Then after that, you've mentioned Gareth Bale, really good at free kicks. We have Jake Andrews, who scored one unbelievable free kick in a 3-0 win at Swindon Town. We'll move on to the Welsh wizard. From Tim Plavetic down to Joe Morrell. 39 games, 3 goals, Welsh international. We're going to start with Liam on this one.
What a legend. That's all I'm going to say. What a legend. You know, people talk about your Ronaldos, your Messis. Yeah, they score goals. But Joe Morley put his heart and soul on the line for you, and that's what you want in a player. We wouldn't have got to where we've got without him in that midfield.
And where have you got?
To the Euros. And the almost the World Cup.
Almost the World Cup.
What a player he is, and Cheltenham should be honoured that they welcomed him.
Yeah, he was a good player.
He was brilliant.
Jake Andrews didn't play so much. Freddie Hines, he scored 1 goal against Forest Green, and then John Flatt jumped over the ball, so we forgot it because we all started hating John Flatt. But Joe Morrell started the same number of games as Taylor Moore, who I believe went on to do some stuff for Bristol City.
Can I put a bit on Joe Morrell first? Because his story is unbelievable. He joined Bristol City instead of Liverpool. He joined us because he wanted first team football at a young age. Made his debut against Bristol Rovers in the League Cup. No, sorry, the JPT when we won 2-1. Didn't play again, so that was 2013. Didn't play again until 2018.
Right.
He only ever played 1 league match for Bristol City, and that was 36 minutes as a substitute appearance against Ipswich.
Yeah.
But his story is amazing. He had loans out, I believe. During the winter of 2018, before we got into the Wales Euro squad, he was not playing on loan at 5th tier Woking.
Right.
Then recalled and then had a very, very good loan spell, and got into the Wales squad.
I mean, he sent Luton into the meltdown when he scored against them. He's now at Luton, I think.
Yeah, he is at Luton.
It's just
Portsmouth.
It's just a shame that. I mean, when we let him go for free, there was a lot of commotion about it all. Realistically, if you just look at the numbers, he's played 36 league minutes for Bristol City.
Yeah.
He played less appearances than Mo Isa, played the same as Freddie Hines. You know, it's always sad when a youngster you put so much devotion into ends up leaving for nothing. But realistically, he's done nothing in the Football League since of any note.
Yeah,
so
that's fair. Taylor Moore, 39 games. Defensive stalwart. He was a big part of us staying up. What do you think of him?
Brought him in as England's under-17s captain. The game where Ivan Lukic saved a penalty, Taylor Moore gave the penalty away. He was called Bob. Lee Johnson said he was like Bobby Moore after that match.
Fair enough.
That was also when Diego Di Girolamo played his only match for us. But he's had loan spells out Blackpool, can't remember what the other one is. I know he's had another loan spell, but he's at Hearts at the moment, and Hearts fans don't like him and don't rate him at all.
Interested.
The problem is, every time he's looked to get any form for Bristol City's first team, we brought in Ashley Williams to play over him, and he was actually in really good form at that time. And then we just brought in a 38-year-old Ashley Williams who did not give a absolute damn. He was getting his last payday.
Are we on about the other Welsh legend that is Ashley Williams?
Yeah, the man who was an embarrassment on the pitch. Look, he played all right before COVID. Then the COVID break happened, and we were in a playoff push, and he acts like an absolute embarrassment. He got sent off for off-the-ball incident against Blackburn when we're 1-0 down. Sorry, Nottingham Forest when we're 1-0 down, and we're pushing, and he gets sent off, and that kills the game, and that basically killed our playoff push. And we were still in like 3 points off.
It's not Ashley Williams' fault. He's a legend.
He might be a legend for, Swansea, and his bidding money moved to Everton, didn't work. Then he went to Stoke and was absolutely, trash. Played for us, was half decent, scored 2 goals, and then...
How many Bristol City players have scored against Thibaut Courtois, though?
How many Bristol City players have scored against Thibaut Courtois? How many Manchester United players have scored against Ivan Lukic?
It's got us there.
But Ashley Williams, 1 goal against Thibaut Courtois.
Fair enough. Right, we'll just move on because Matt needs to calm down. He's getting a bit red. Freddie Hines didn't really do anything. Aidan Baldwin, former Forest Green, didn't really do anything. He was our last loanee, but we're going to just touch finally on Cameron Pring. He was a development player for Cheltenham, then an under-18s player, then signed for Bristol City, and then he got sent back on loan in the 2018-19 season.
Yeah, Pringer's excellent. He broke through in the first team this season. Last season, as in, 2021 season, he was brought back from loan from Portsmouth. He played decent for Portsmouth. It was him against Lee Brown for that left-back position. Brought back because we had a left-back crisis. De Silva was injured. Tommy Rowe was injured. We were having to play Riley Towler and Arjun Mariappa at left-back. O'Dowda got injured. So he brought him back, and then he gets injured for the rest of the season, which is...
unfortunate.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him. Came in this year, made his league debut, his debut for the club. He missed the decisive penalty against Forest Green in the Cup.
Ooh.
Which... But the thing is, he's old enough now. He's, 23, 24? So he's old enough, he's gone through enough. But he's played excellently, whether that's on the left-hand side of midfield, left-back, or left centre-back. He's honestly one of the quickest players I've seen us play for a long time.
Yeah.
He reminds me so much of Joe Bryan when he plays on the left flank, so it just makes me happy about that. But he's out of favour at the moment. Duncan Idahan's taken over from him. I don't know why, quite frankly. I know Duncan's a decent young centre-half, but Pring... I can't think of a game off the top of my head where he's not been good or not had a good game.
And listeners at home, you've heard how harsh Matt can be. I think that's very high praise.
Look, Nigel Pearson, he's got personality problems. Let's be honest. We know that he's a harsh man. He can be a very harsh man, and he's cutthroat, which is actually quite good because realistically we've had quite a few hangers on in the past few years. So Cam Pring must have done something maybe to annoy him because I can't see him being out of form as of such to not even make the bench in the last few matches of the season.
And we're going to move on to pre-2010. It's kind of a time that me and Matt don't quite remember. You probably don't know anything about Bristol City loanees to Cheltenham Town in the pre-2010 era, do you, Liam?
You'd be very surprised.
Well, touching on that, what we did was Up The Duff went to Twitter to ask you all who your favourite loanees were. Matt said Stephen Gillespie, that was a popular choice. Steve Brookers and Greg Goodridge.
Any relation to Keith Gillespie?
I have no idea, I won't lie. We have Sai saying Greg Goodridge again, scoring an absolute worldie against Halifax. And Bobby Reid was incredibly skillful but underutilised. But yes, Stephen Gillespie, he says. Pete, Bobby Reid again, Aggie Russell, myself replying to our own Twitter, I said Diego de Girolamo purely for that hat-trick. Then we got a bit of Ivan Lukic, Marlon Jackson and Bobby Reid's cameos. Richard Keogh, I think played for Derby County.
He did. Captained them and then got, there we are, there's a bit of knowledge. Captained them to the
it's about time, Liam.
Playoff semi-final, I can't remember which one it was, and the Lampard,
yeah,
and got sent off, and he's the reason Lampard didn't get to the Premier League.
And Anwar El Ghazi.
He's now at Blackpool doing half decent. He
Yeah.
got outpaced by Chris Martin at the opening day of the season, so he's not done that well, to be honest with him.
It's amazing that Chris Martin can lead the lines for both Bristol City and Coldplay. What an incredibly talented
What
man.
a skill.
Then we have Kevin Amankwa, mentioned a few times. Stephen Gillespie again.
Yeah, there's a lot of names you're saying there, like Gillespie. 2004, 2006 played for us. I was 4 years old. So to be honest, again, I'm not too big or knowledgeable about League Two loanees when I'm 4 years old. Steve Brooker, though, he was up top when we won promotion to the Championship 2006-07. Him and Phil Jevons were up top. He scored decent goals. I know he scored on the opening day against Blackpool as well in their first game back to the Championship. But again, as an 8-year-old back then, I'm not too familiar with how good our loanees were.
Yeah.
But that's someone a bit more knowledgeable on that.
Steve said Greg Goodrich. Daniel says Steve Brooker or Richard Keogh. And I think there is a definitive answer to this because John Palmer did send us a message with his answer. And I think you will agree with this, Matt. Liam will agree with this. Steve Brooker. Best ever Bristol City loanee to Cheltenham Town.
I agree. Whatever John Palmer says is right.
I agree that he's a very knowledgeable man. John Palmer is. He's Cheltenham Town through and through. But I think...
Who's Matt going to say?
I'm not going to say anyone else other than Big Steve, the big bold man himself.
Fair enough.
Because, again, as I said, I don't know too much. But personally, out of that lot, Greg Goodrich was the most effective for Bristol City over his time at the club. Obviously, that's different to Cheltenham Town. Bobby Reid was... If I say best player, it would be Bobby Reid.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's gone on, sold him for quite a lot of money. He's gone on to play in the Premier League.
I think that's fair. I think we're going to call that section there, but obviously it's Up The Duff. We have guests.
Also, can I just add, I just looked up Greg Goodrich. He ended his career at a club called Rendezvous.
I've got an even better fact.
Oh, good.
Nothing to do with Cheltenham, just a fact.
That's why you're here.
Keith Gillespie. No relation to Stephen Gillespie, by the way. But hey, he's 47 and still playing football.
That is actually an incredible fact. Who's he playing for?
FC Mindwell?
Yeah, no idea. I don't know if that was into the studio, but our producer Rowan has just popped up saying, yeah, they won the Champions League recently. Not too sure, but I'm not going to fact check it, so it must be true. Right, as I was saying, it's Up The Duff. We have guests. It is time for Connor to mastermind our little quiz. Do you have things that you want to... would you rather shout out and whoever gets it first gets the point, or would you rather write it down?
Shout it out. Let's make it a bit fun. Let's get interactive.
Let's get into it. We're going to get the producer in as well. Loz, Rowan, you can act as a team if your mic's on. Give us a hello.
It is now.
Okay, there is a prize, by the way. Winner gets their very own copy of The Little Old Champions, the new book from myself, which I'm sure you will cherish and try extra hard.
I've already bought one, but okay.
I modelled for it.
That's true, we did have models for it. I've just accidentally touched chewing gum under the desk.
If you look at his pictures on Instagram or Twitter, I'm the fat one. So
he's the one repping the retro kit, the nice red and white stripe. Okay, everybody, chime in when you have the answer. Each team, I say team, Liam, Matt, Loz, Rowan, you can have one cryptic clue for each answer.
Can we have our own buzzers?
You can make your own noise.
Okay.
Yeah. Liam, what's your noise going to be?
Moo!
Matt, what's your noise going to be? Silence, apparently. And Liam... Nope, we've had Liam. Loz and Rowan, we'll call you Lowen. Yep.
Ding.
We're going to go with ding, moo, and...
and mine will just be me shouting out a random player that's played for both Bristol City and... Actually, if that are the answers. My buzzer will be Marlon Pack. I'll just shout Marlon.
Okay, are we ready? Question number 1. I'll just get a scoreboard going. Who did Cheltenham Town's first third-tier win come against?
Moo. Wrexham.
No.
Ding.
We have ding.
Doncaster.
No. Matt?
Marlon. I want to say Leeds United.
It wasn't. I'll give you a hint. They are a Robins that neither of us support.
Oh, Swindon Town.
It was Swindon Town. 1 point to Matt Medhi-Daley. Number 2, which Bristol City loanee played the most games for Cheltenham? There are 2 answers.
Marlon, was it? It was Joe Morrell.
It was Joe Morrell. Bonus point if you get in the next one.
Joe Morrell and Taylor Moore.
Correct.
That can't be fair. He's got the stats in front of him.
I've got stats for Bristol City, not for. I think.
Okay, this one you're probably going to have to guess. According to Google Maps, how far is Wadham Road from Ashton Gate?
48 miles.
Oh, Moo. 36.
Have we got an answer in there?
42.
It is 49. Matt claims another point as he was closest, kind of running away with this.
I mean, to be fair, it is 45 miles from my house to there, and I was just adding the extra 3 miles to Ashton Gate.
Who did Johnny Smith play for in 2021-22?
Marlon, Burton Albion.
I think Matt's getting a copy of my book.
There's a comeback coming.
So we sold him to him.
Which first-team regular played for Leicester City when Diego De Girolamo scored his hat-trick?
Harry Kane.
No. Current player.
Sorry, what was the question?
I feel like you're not taking this seriously, Liam.
Which first-team regular... I think the problem was I didn't use the full name. Which first-team regular for Leicester City played when Diego Raymond De Girolamo scored his hat-trick in the EFL Trophy?
Marlon, I'm going to go for Jamie Vardy.
It was not. I see the producers are currently talking among themselves.
Oh, a first teamer for Leicester.
First teamer for regular for Leicester. Could Liam be onto this?
Did you win 5-3 this game?
Moo. Harvey Barnes.
It was Harvey Barnes.
Woo!
I think we did win 5-1 or something, 6-1.
Liam
claims his point is currently 4 for Matt, 1 for Liam.
What year was that?
Ooh, first season back, second season back. Hamza Chowdhury also played.
I'm just trying to think, is that before he got loaned out to West Brom or not? I'm guessing before he got loaned out.
Probably. It was under 21s, so he was quite young.
Oh yeah.
Who are you going to say in the studio? Not the studio, the other studio.
Harvey Barnes.
Could you repeat the question, please?
It was the same question. I was just asking
asked 3 times.
what your choice would have been.
Yeah, it would have been Harvey Barnes, was it?
Sure.
Yeah, Harvey Barnes.
Okay. What is the new... I can't remember if this has been announced or not, but if it hasn't, I'm sorry. What is the new name of Wadham Road?
Moo. No, wait, hang on. Was it Marlon?
Ding, ding.
Oh, hang on, I
Ding.
was first, my loves.
Right.
If you all know it, I'll give you one
No, he
point.
got his wrong, so I think it
I
should
still
go
said
to
Marlon first, though. It's a complete Suzuki Stadium.
Complete Suzuki Stadium?
Oh.
Yeah, complete Suzuki Stadium.
I'm gonna go with the Suzuki Complete Stadium.
Completely Suzuki Stadium. You're all along the same lines. I'll give you all a point.
Yes, look at that, 1 point away.
That is an awful name, by the way.
Yes, that's why we call it Wadham Road. Who announced they will be playing Cheltenham Town in a pre-season friendly?
Marlon.
Just shout out the answers.
Bath City.
It's a point each.
I told you that.
True. Just saying, there is a question at the end which earns double your points tally.
What's the tally at the moment?
Matt has 6, Liam has 3, Lowen have 1.
How many more questions are there?
4.
Come back.
What colour did Cheltenham Town wear when they played Crewe at home in
No.
2017?
Yellow.
Was it?
What colour did Cheltenham Town wear when they played Crewe at home in 2017?
Must have been white and red.
Have we got any producer?
Oh no, or is it the...
Producers first?
We're going to go with green.
No.
It was blue. Blue for Crewe charity. What was that? What you were going to say?
I was going to say maroon, because I knew you had a maroon
The
home
Ruby
shirt.
kit.
I love that shirt. That was a Marlon place, yeah.
Which former Cheltenham Town player started for Rangers in their Europa League semi-final?
Moo.
Liam's going for it.
Kiefer Moore.
What?
It was not.
Marlon, was it James Tavernier?
No.
What?
My guess. He's on loan at us from Wigan, so I was
Got a
guessing you might have had
Producer answer.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Which
Oh,
former
don't
Cheltenham
include
Town
them.
player started for Rangers in their Europa League semi-final?
Oh,
We're going to pass on that one.
is it Lundstrom?
Connor Goldson.
Oh.
Do you have him on loan from Shrewsbury or something?
We did, on loan from Shrewsbury. Right, penultimate question. Which Cheltenham Town under-18 player was the only player to be offered a pro deal going into next season? Son of a Cheltenham great.
Ish. John Palmer got a kid.
Michael Duff Jr.
Scored in the first round of the FA Youth Cup. Scored 2.
Not helping me because I don't work with the under-18s this year.
The producer should know.
The producers could easily just Google this because we can't see their screens.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
No, we're actually trying to be professional about this.
It is a.
We're trying to also keep We're trying to maintain the professionalism of the show as well.
The initials are
We also have to focus on.
ZG. ZG. Zach.
Jenna Ryer.
No.
Green.
Another word for man. And what you say instead of A when the next word begins with a vowel. And an N in the middle.
Zach Kotwica.
Kotvika.
Yeah.
We had him about 5 years ago.
Damn.
Well, you're looking on your phone there, Liam.
Just Googling.
It's Zach Guinan. And I feel like Matt's going to get this.
The only one that I was thinking of was on
Wait, is this the double points one?
This is the one before that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be honest, the only under-18 I think is under-18 is Jake Ways. That's the only one I could think of.
Connor Jakeways.
Yeah, the only one I could think of.
I'm not going to let Matt answer this one because he knows the answer.
Do I?
Absolutely. So this is going to see if Liam could possibly win it or if the producers can save
Oh, so I haven't
face.
won then.
You probably will. Who is the holder of the Johnson Cup?
Oh, like the Johnson's Paint Trophy.
No.
The Johnson's Cup.
The Johnson Cup between Gary Johnson and Lee Johnson.
As in, do you
last
want
played for when Cheltenham Town played Bristol City in a pre-season friendly.
Lee Johnson?
I heard a whisper from Rowan there, so I'm going to give you both a point.
Yes.
If I get the last one, I beat Matt and I get a buck.
Liam
Didn't we win 4-3 in the end?
was on 4.
Or was that
I
when
think
we
you hammered us. It was like 3-0, 4-0. Or 2-1, I can't remember. There's so many of them.
I miss those days. Because what was it? Lee Johnson's mum gave out the trophy to the winner. It's either her husband or her kid that's getting the trophy.
And then we genuinely had fans bragging to us on Twitter and Facebook that the Bristol City had won the Johnson Cup in the championship banter page.
Look, Brian Senior did an amazing job. I say that. I mean, it must have been the family group chat on WhatsApp. Like, Dad, do you want any players that we don't want at the moment? Yeah, go on, Lee. We'll take like 17 youngsters, please.
Yeah, and that got very annoying.
It did. I loved it.
Cheltenham got a bit annoyed, and we tried to get around it by signing Jacob Maddox, who was a Bristol City youngster signed by Chelsea,
yeah.
and then we signed him from Chelsea. Right, the final question. Could be all or nothing, could be nothing. Basically, Tottenham's documentary. It is a new game called Up The Bluff, where I tell you a fact, you have to say if I've made it up or not. I just want you both give an answer, and we will see.
What if we give the same answer?
Then I go to another tiebreaker, which I make up off the top of my head.
Okay.
What we're going to do is left hand in the air when I say go will be true, right hand will be false. Are you ready? Cheltenham Town's record holder for the most goals in one season is nicknamed the Flying Pig. 3, 2, 1.
I forgot which was which.
Yeah, I forgot which was which.
That's just your left hand, mate.
Left hand is true, right hand is false.
The
Go.
Flying Pig. I'm just trying to remember the thing. It's called most goals in the season.
It's in my book, which doesn't help you now because you're competing to win it.
If I win it, I'll be able to read it. I'm going to say true, just because.
Matt's gone true,
False.
false.
Oh wait, hang on, I'm holding the wrong hand.
Have you gone true?
Yeah, true.
I forgot. In the studio, what have you gone for? True? Yep. Dave Lewis scored 54 goals in one season and made one appearance in goal, and his very peculiar saving technique earned him the nickname of the Flying Pig. Congratulations to Matt Medhi-Daley, winner of today's Connor to Mastermind and Up The Bluff.
Who would have thought that most of these questions were about loanees from Bristol City to Coventry?
So weird that the Bristol City fan knew all these answers.
The journalist who supports City for the past 16 years would have.
Needed a tiebreaker.
Now
allowed
Matt,
to answer the
Matt's going to
question.
do his trophy lift of the book. Everyone give him a woo.
Hey!
Again, completely useless for the listeners at home because you can't see us.
Bit of fun.
It was fun though. I did enjoy it. Well, thank you. Thank you, Matt Medhi-Daley, for coming on today.
Thank you for finally having me on this one. We've been
This
planning
one was in
for
the
a
works
long
for
time.
a while. It was only a year between the last episode and this one. Thank you, Liam Hale. Thank you for coming on. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I had fun.
And where can we find your work?
On my journalism page, Liam Hale Journalism. Just type it in. It's on WordPress. So.
They'll all be tagged. Matt, where can we find your work on Bristol City?
You can find me on my Twitter or on my WordPress. I've got a few stuff coming out as well on different individual websites as well.
And Matt will, of course, be tagged. And our producers, thank you, Lawrence Stanley and Rowan Lee. Where can we find your stuff?
I prefer to go under the radar.
Fair enough. We're
Loz
not going
has
to.
actually worked for Bristol City this season.
Oh, Loz has worked for Bristol City covering the under-23s. We should point that out. Should have done better in the quiz. Rowan, where can we find your work?
You can follow me on Twitter at Rowan Lee.
Apologies, that was incredibly loud.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and we will see you at some point.